Hello, my name is Matthew Phifer. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a therapist, I'm a coach, I'm an author. I wrote the book, Oh Shit, I Think They're a Fucking Narcissist, and I help people who are in toxic, unhealthy relationships make sense of their situation. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic situation, it doesn't matter if it's a family member, workplace dynamic. Long story short, if it's toxic, I help people out and I help people heal from those things, help people learn and set boundaries. And so welcome to my channel. And I also read, people will write into me and I will read their emails and we help them figure out their situation. And so if you would like my help, if you go down below into the description, you'll see all the links to be able to get my help, to be able to send me an email or to sign up for one of my courses, sign up for one of my memberships. There's a lot of different ways that myself and my team help people out. And so take full advantage of that. And if you want to write me, make sure you send it to justaskmatt@mattphifercoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt@mattphifercoaching.com. Make sure that the email is 2 to 3 paragraphs max, and it is straight and to the point of what your question actually is. If it's too long, or if I don't understand what you're asking, I apologize, but I just cannot ask it. So with that being said, let's get into this email. So this email reads, will me taking a lie detector test prove to my narcissistic husband that my intentions are pure and I'm here because I love him, not the material things, money, etc., because basically be willing to be asked any of his accusations on the polygraph and have him have to accept that he's wrong? Or will he just deny that also and say polygraphs aren't reliable? Or are the accusations and things he says he doesn't believe just empty accusations because he doesn't believe me? All this is very confusing and much longer than you asked for. No, it's actually not. It's not very long at all, but I get it, right? And this is a common response from a lot of people, right? That whenever they start explaining their toxic situation, they talk about it and they actually describe it. They begin to apologize about how confusing it is, right? And this is actually the reason why it's important for us to do these things, right? And the reason why is because, guess what? As you're talking, for you, it might feel, or as you're writing, it might feel like there's this big ball of yarn, right? But, we're able to unravel it. We're able to look at it together and make some sense of it. So for me, right, because I've been doing this for a long time, it makes perfect sense. Right? So let's make some sense of it together, but let me finish out this email. All of this is very confusing and much longer than you asked for, just coming off a month of some intense reactive abuse, so I apologize. There are so many questions in here. So let's get down to the very, very basic point of this question, this lie detector test, right? It's not going to work, right? It's not going to work. When someone who is narcissistic, you have to remember, one of the things that narcissists thrive in chaos, right? They love chaos. They thrive in it. And quite often what they do is that they position you, right? And this is gaslighting. This is one form of gaslighting. They put you in positions where they're constantly questioning you, right? That you are doing something. Quite often the reason why they're questioning you is that it's also a form of projection. Quite often, they're the ones that are actually doing something. So if this person is accusing you of cheating, and you know within your heart of hearts that you're not and you haven't, they probably are themselves. It's projection. But then they turn and they twist that into gaslighting, right? Because what happens? Why would they do that? Why would they try to? We have to understand that gaslighting it's a form of manipulation to make you feel, right, that you begin to question your own sanity. There's probably a part of you that wonders, and I can actually hear it in some of the things the way that you kind of position it and wrote this, that you kind of feel, and you even admit to some reactive abuse, you feel like there's something that I can do to try to please and try to rebuild trust with someone that really doesn't even want your trust. He doesn't want it. Right? When we're talking about people who are narcissistic, they don't want trust, right? Just like I said, they thrive in chaos. So then the question is, why would someone not want my trust? Because notice what you're doing here. Notice how hard you're working to keep this relationship together, right? And this is where even though the person that you're doing this with is not reciprocating whatsoever, right? Being demanding about the questions, right? There's no reciprocity, right? There's only one person working, and so you have one person that's being overly demanding, right? Just for those of you who have followed me for a while, you know when I describe narcissist, someone who is overly demanding, right? All about them, right? But then they're constantly devaluing you. Notice all the questions that you put in here about the devaluation of you. So they doesn't trust you, right? So lie detector test, right? To prove to him, to make sure that you're not there just in it for the money. You're already married to him, right? You're already married to him. What the fuck does he mean that you're in it for the money? You're already married, right? So what would the lie detector test do? You're already there. You're already married. If that were a concern of his, right, he clearly is not, he wasn't concerned about it before, so we know that this is bullshit, right? Or else if he was really actually concerned about this, he would ask for this lie detector test before you guys got enmeshed, but you're already enmeshed, which is also typically what the narcissist does, right? They get you enmeshed, then they start all of this behavior. Right? And because of the codependency, because of the people-pleasing behavior, I'll take the lie detector test. I'll do this, whatever I can do to prove it to you, right? Just don't leave me, because we fear our own rejection and we have our own fear of abandonment. So we'll do anything, right? This is very indicative of codependent behavior. I'll do anything to keep this relationship together, even stay in it, even with this person constantly questioning me and mistreating you. Right? So the polygraph test, it's not going to help, right? Because if your word won't help anyway, right? The polygraph test isn't going to help. And you basically already know the answer to this, right? Because you already said, is he even going to accept it? A part of you already knows this. I can tell by the way you wrote it. You already know that he's not going to accept it. He's probably done this type of behavior to you before with other stuff, and he keeps on escalating it. This is very indicative of a narcissist. I have a feeling that there's probably a lot of people that are watching this video. They're like, yep, my narcissistic ex or my narcissistic wife, my narcissistic husband, they do the exact same thing. My narcissistic mother, there's not enough evidence to give them because they don't want to know the truth. That's the issue. This is gaslighting. This isn't they're not looking to rebuild or reestablish a healthy relationship. They want the chaos, right? So yeah, with this type of behavior, they're just going to deny the test. They're going to say that you probably fucked the person giving the test, accuse you of doing something to falsify the test, or you are such a good liar because you're the narcissist that you know how to mimic the test. There's not going to be enough that's going to satisfy it. And you know this because I have a feeling that there's been other times that you've tried to prove to him, right? And he didn't accept that, and that's the reason why you put that into this email as well, right? So this email also reads, or the accusations and things, he says, doesn't believe me, just jump to empty accusations because he doesn't believe me, right? So these empty accusations, again, I have a feeling that this has been going on for a while. This is something that's very common with narcissists. Empty accusations because of their own projection, like we were talking about before, but also because of what's actually happening here. You're working your ass off to do anything to keep this relationship together. I'm not sure if you guys have kids, right? But because of your own fear of rejection, your own fear of abandonment, I will do anything to keep this relationship together. You feel like there's something that you can do to prove to him, right? More than likely this started out in childhood. You felt like you had to prove something to your parents. It's not going to work. Right? I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's not going to work. Right? Narcissists don't want to be proven, right? You can't establish trust with them. They don't want it. Right? Because then that means that, guess what? They also have to be trustworthy when they're actually doing a lot of this bad behavior because they want to get away with their own bad behavior. They enjoy the devaluation because it makes them feel better about themselves. So thank you guys. Once again, my name is Matthew Phifer. If you would like for me to answer your email, send me an email to justaskmatt@mattphifercoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt@mattphifercoaching.com. Make sure that the email is 2 to 3 paragraphs max. Be very direct and specific about what your point and what your question actually is. If the email is too long, I can't read it, I won't do it, I won't go through with it, right? 2 to 3 paragraphs max, being very direct, very specific about what your question actually is. If you want my help, if you want any of my courses, anything that I have to offer, if you feel like you need something deeper, if you go down to the links down below, everything that I offer is down below. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video.